My question on your statement, all is well with this planet, I guess what I have a hard time with is the rainforest keeps getting diminished and we're losing tremendous amount of life that will never be again, and the whales and the dolphins and all that. How is it all well, and why are they letting this happen to them, even though we're causing it?
In order to really put this into clear perspective, I want to ask you a question. Do you really miss the dinosaurs?
No.
Now, what we want you to hear is that the balance of your planet is orchestrated from a broader non-physical level. And your planet in its evolution supports different species. The energy comes forth and physically manifests in the way that is most appropriate to the time and place. And so as the species is more beneficial, displayed in another way, it happens in that way. Now, that's the basis of what we want you to hear. The other thing that is very important to hear is that you are receiving a dramatic distortion from those who would profit by your believing their lies. In other words, not long ago, a few years ago, there was what was reported to be a horrendous and terrible fire in the Yellowstone National Park. And many, including Esther, who loved that place, felt great sadness as they read and heard about it. Not only the death of the animals, which is always uncomfortable, until you realize that they just reemerge into non-physical and then reemerge again into another body, younger and friskier. There was great sadness over the devastation of the forest, until within just a few short years later, the forests were discovered to be profoundly more nutritious as a result of all of the ash that had fallen. And new species of undergrowth that had been missing for a long time began to grow and thrive, supporting the beasts that in many cases were having a hard time there. In other words, they were surviving, but not in the way they were accustomed or wanting. And so, as you were able to step back from it a little bit, you came to understand that the balance was actually perfect. You had to look at it not so short range and a little more long range to appreciate the total effect of the balance, you see. And often, man, who has, in most lifetimes, only somewhere between an average of 60 to 120 years, you all keep changing that depending on the amount of joy that you allow to flow through you. In other words, the more closely you associate with each other and the more you push against what each other do, the shorter your lifetimes become. You don't realize that. You all think you're living longer lives, but you're actually living quite a bit shorter lives than you have in other physical experiences, because most of you are pushing against more things and disallowing more of the energy. But anyway, it doesn't really make too much difference how long you will allow yourself to be here in this physical body. The thing that we want you to hear is that the physical balance that is orchestrated from non-physical perspective is always kept in perfect balance. And you have not anything to worry about. Things really are very well. Now, there is much speculation about man's destruction. In other words, as you talk about the rainforest being destroyed, and we say, your planet itself is the greatest destroyer of anything. In other words, volcanic activity destroys more than man. You are like a small flea on the back of a very big dog. In other words, you are not impacting negatively in the way you all worry, or in the way so many of them would have you worry. It's just man's dislike of himself. In other words, you're so convinced that you're inappropriate that you just find lots of ways to express your inappropriateness. That's really all that it is. And so, when you hear someone saying, things are not well, we've got a big trouble spot and we've got to do something about it, in your own mind say, okay, I'll imagine it in its perfection and I'll help to make it better. But I will not give you my money to push against. I will not join you on your soapbox to condemn somebody, because all that does is put me in a place of resistance so the energy doesn't flow through me. And when the energy doesn't flow through me, I'm not fulfilling my purpose. I'm not being the vortex of pure positive energy that the dolphin is, or the chicken is, or the frog is, or the seagull is. I am not fulfilling my purpose. I'm all stopped up, and I can tell I am because I feel rotten. This propaganda that you send me doesn't open my heart and make me sing. It makes me angry. It makes me want to spit. It makes me want to write somebody. It makes me want to make them take a look. It makes me resistant. I can feel that what you're saying is not in harmony with my soul, because my soul went away when I started reading what you write. You see. You're asking me to experience conditional love. You're saying, I'll give you my money in order to support this cause, in order to push against these people. And you say, there's something inherently wrong here. I'm full of resistance. Or I can stand out on the balcony overlooking this magnificent place that has been here for eons in different forms and acknowledge the perfection of the balance of this sea. You see, what man doesn't realize, he's not able to factor this in. He doesn't understand law of attraction. So man says, the fish in the sea are diminishing. And as he lights his light board in vibrational harmony with that belief, where do you think he is guided to examine the sea? To the place where there are not fish. And then he says, oh look, I was right, just as I thought. There are not fish in this sea. But another man who does not know that is out there experiencing the abundance of fish. So your statistics only cause you to light your light board in a way that gives you more of what you have already believed. That's why we're trying to spread a new rumor, all is well.
Thank you.